I don't know how. Some people are going to quit surfing for whatever reason, and some may quit shaping, but basically, if you're passionate enough about them, you're probably going to do it for as long as you live, you know? Couldn't think of anything I would rather have done for the last 50 or 60 years.
I've been waiting here someday. I've been breaking on my way. And I've been breaking yes on my way.
Why did we start shaping? The issue was the industry was putting out longboards, but they weren't building any shortboards, and we saw shortboard surfing got introduced to us there probably late 66, early 67. So we had to make our own boards to pull it off. So a few of us got the hook on that, like that, and that's what we ended up doing for the rest of our lives. It was pretty cool. If you go the Nike Michael Jordan trip or the Hobie Alter Phil Edwards trip, you might make some bank along the way, but if you don't, it's still a pretty darn good thing to be doing,
I've been home now, no. Yeah, I've been home now, no.
Who is Steve Coletta?
Oh my God, this old guy, Steve Coletta, is a sensei. That's what he is. He's a sensei.
In my opinion, for what it's worth, he's the best shaper ever from Santa Cruz.
He's got this classic knock-knee style and really tighten the pocket, He knows how to really put a board in the position in which it's made for. So if you're getting a board from Steve, you got to realize that he's going to give you a Ferrari that might be better than you.
As kids, we wanted to be professional surfers and get sponsored, and we were, ambitious about that. And he kind of always kept us in our place. I remember him once saying, like, you guys should stop worrying about trying to get sponsored and just try to surf,
Believe me, Steve never gave away a free board. Straight up, Steve does not give away free boards. Maybe to Kieran, he might have given away a couple boards, but not to me. But I had some chips, and I said, hey, I'm gonna get a couple boards. As soon as the waves got curvy, I was able to wrap these boards in such tight pockets, and had a couple boards that I think I surfed as well, or if not better, than I've ever surfed before.
There was a point where my boards, it felt like it was probably like I went through a growth spurt and I needed some boards and something that just worked a little bit better for me than what I was getting. And he saw that and he said, hey, basically he offered to make me some boards, and, we went from there.
When it came down to right points, Kieran Horn shined as hard, if not harder, than anybody. And he was doing it on Steve Coletta surfboards in our own backyard.
Yeah, well, the cold water meant a lot to me when I was a kid because it was such a big event, and at that time you would equate it today to being like a championship tour event.
Snap on the open face. One more section right here for pup. Whoa. Huge snap in the hook. That's the patented Kieran.
Kieran Horn, hands down, won the cold water on a Steve Coletta. And he did Steve Coletta justice by doing that. To win the cold water on a local shape amongst the world's best is as good as like a world title around here. And so Steve Coletta is right up there at the top of that, and with Kieran.
I had 2 different cancers. The first time around was what's called prostate cancer, very common. I don't want to trivialize it, but it seemed like getting the flu or something was something that could be dealt with. A few years later, I had pancreatic cancer, which is kind of a deadly disease, and Emotionally, it was more like, man, I really want to go surfing again, you know? And at that time, I think, I don't know, in my mid-60s or something like that. Let's see, 72 minus 6 is 66. So I still had these expectations about doing a few turns and stuff. After 5 years, the cancer oncologist said that I guess it's kind of a success story, you know, to have recovered from that disease. So I'm pretty fired up about that. Whew. And I lived to surf and shape again, and all that goes with still being here on the planet, you know, having my wife and kids and enough health to go surfing. I feel like I've been at it for so long, I'm a little bit worn out. I'm gonna have to take a sabbatical and go surfing for a while. Recharge the batteries, make sure there's enough wax left on the candle so it doesn't burn down and burn itself out. So anyway, so in that regard, last year Renee and I went down to southern Mexico and decided that we were going to look into moving down there in order to recharge the batteries and kind of get away from the rat race here in North America. We're going to move down there and stay for the rest of our lives if we're lucky. It's a feeling I haven't had before to kind of walk away from the career side of shaping and just kind of be a shaper for fun. So we're off to Mexico, really looking forward to it. Kalu's going to take over the factory, and he already has, basically.
When I first started shaping, I was putting my dad's logo on all my boards, and at one point he actually came up to me and was like, yeah, you know, I've worked really long and hard to develop a really good reputation, you know, and, you know, I just don't think you're quite there yet. He's very, very precision and like quality and performance oriented, and I'm just really stoked that he kind of like instilled that in me. Now, 20-something years later, every time I sign his initials on the stringer and write down the dimensions and do the little dolphin stencil on the tail, I'm really stoked that he trusts me to like carry on his brand and carry on the family tradition.
I would never want to change how things have developed. I think if you rewrite the script and put it out of balance by making everything correct or normal, or that's just not real, you know? The real world is that sometimes the surf's good, sometimes the surf's not very good. Sometimes when the surf's good, you're not getting any waves, and sometimes when the surf's not very good, you might be getting some pretty good waves, even though the surf's not very good. So go surfing, you can make the world right for yourself. And I think that's probably what I'm most grateful for about surfing, is that it just sets the world right for you. Go into detail about how that goes down, but probably the detail's a little bit different for everybody.